Hello everyone and welcome to Honest Vaping. Today is a very exciting day. I finally have got my Rebirth Rda by Hellvape and Vapes. I'm so excited. This is my first Rda ever, but I've been doing a lot of research and a lot of configuring, fiddling, playing around with my coil building app, researching my batteries, all kinds of stuff to ensure that I'm not going to blow myself up while building this. Today I am using pre-built coils. I'm not going to be building my own today. I'm also going to be using these cotton threads. They're really neat. And then obviously the Rebirth. So let's take a close-up look and I'll show you all the stuff I got going on. Okay guys, so taking it out of the box, we have the top cap with the really, you really can't see it in this light, but this purple color that we have going on the 810 drip tip up there is, it's like a geode. It's absolutely beautiful. The finish on this is a really shiny purple. That is just awesome. I'm in love with it. Then you have the build deck here. You can see that it has your positive and negative holes there, and it also has your screw on each side, your airflow holes right there, which line up with these honeycomb airflow holes. Then you have your O-rings. Then you have your logo from Vapes, from Hellvape, then the Rebirth there. That is also your pin, which you can see right in the middle there. It also comes with a brass squonk pin, if that is your thing, which I think was really cool for Mike to give, everybody in there, because not everyone has a regular mod. Some people might want to squonk this thing. So it's totally cool that he's done that. And also, we get a really neat sticker. Yay, I'm excited about this. Your user manual tells you all the nifty little things you need to know. It has instructions on how to fill right there. Just in case every RDA is different, you don't know. But yeah, it's multiple languages. Gives you the exploded view, kind of breaks things down for you. Then, in the box that is underneath of your RDA, you have your accessory bags. This includes your Allen key wrench, your flathead screwdriver, and this nifty thing Mike decided to include for us as well, because these coils have to be cut to a specific length. So if you don't have that really long tool that has a bunch of different lengths on it, all you do is insert your coil, and you can see your little legs sticking out. And that tells you how you need to cut it. Boom, done. No guessing necessary. So that's really awesome. I kind of like this. I wish it had like a little keychain adaptment so I could, carry it around. Because it's a neat looking little thing. I don't know. I like it. Then in our second accessory bag, which I'm going to put all this back as soon as I'm done because I will lose all these tiny little pieces. This is where you have your extra O-rings, multiples. And then your O-ring, for right inside of there. I believe that is the 510 O-ring to put that type of drip mouthpiece on there with that as well. I believe that's what that is. And then, like I said, I have to put all of these little pieces back the second I am done, or they will get knocked everywhere. because, I don't know, my cat's probably figuring out what I'm doing right now. Comes with an extra set of screws, which are really hard to hang on to. So be careful of that. And then your squonk pin, which I will not be messing with that. I will include, in the description, I will include the link to Mike's video that he did of his presentation video. So if you want to know how to install the squonk pin, you can very easily do that. Also, I'm only going to be doing a single coil, so if you want to know how to do double or triple, he has that on his video as well. So I will include that to his channel, that video only. I am not allowed to include links of anywhere that I got any of this stuff per YouTube policy, so you'll have to figure out where all this stuff is on your own. But I'll make sure to tell you what it is in detail. There's the frosted little mouthpiece. I like that there's a second one because obviously everyone has a preference, but I really don't know why you would want something else other than it is so pretty. I don't know, the video doesn't do it justice. It's really beautiful. It is. So good job there. All right. So that is our lovely box of goodies. The end. No, I'm just kidding. So, want to make sure, before we get into this, that we have all of our tools that we need. So, also make sure you put things back in the right box. Oh, what is this mess? I'm just not with it today. Alrighty. Now that we've talked about everything we need, let's get to the business. So, make sure you have your tweezers. I grabbed a pair of Coil Master ceramic tweezers. I thought they would be white, but actually the ceramic on them is black. It's like a gunmetal black. So, I don't know, that's super cool bonus. I was like, oh, white, no, if I get stuff on it, it's gonna show, but no. Those suckers are black, and they're cool. Got some cotton threads, like I said. These are really cool because they have your little shoelace pieces or anklets. They have those on there. So that makes it really easy to kind of thread through your coil. Kind of like the thing that, you know, helps you thread the plastic line on a fishing hook. Same thing. So it's really neat. Well, not same thing, same concept. The coils I'm using are the frame staple Clapton. They are Watofo. Here's all of the specs on those. Notice that it says an estimate of 0.33 ohms. That's because cutting this shorter for whatever reason by various lengths is going to change that. So they're guesstimating that's what it's going to be. So don't run your exact coil building calculations to exactly 0.33. Oh, that's what that coil said it was going to be, and it's not. Boo-hoo. No, it gives you an estimate because obviously, you know, 0.5 millimeter off on either side is going to change the resistance of it. So there's 10 of those in here. And here's the warning. Know your Ohm's law. Are your batteries safe? Because this is my first one, I am doing this with fully charged batteries because I don't want any margin of error. I've done enough research, but things can happen. And also, I've done enough calculations. I have purchased this basing off of what my batteries can handle and what my batteries can do. This ohm setting on the coil, and obviously if you run double coils or triple coils or, you know, various other things, this is not going to be okay for everybody. You need to do your research on your batteries, on your mod, to make sure it has the settings or whatever that you may need to do the different type of materials that this may be. Because if you get a stainless steel coil, you might have to change the setting. I'm not sure. I do not. But you might have to. So that's why it's very important to research, because like I said, this number may not work for everyone's battery. I think my battery is on the low end of the power side, Not for sure, but we won't get into that too much. Alrighty, so the juice I'm going to use is the honeycomb berry. Because this is a review of the Rebirth and how the flavor compares, I've only ever done pre-built sub-ohm tank style vaping. That's all I've ever done. This is going to review if this is an improvement or not. How the flavor is, how the clouds are, how everything is. So I want to use my favorite juice. I want to make sure it's a juice I know how it tastes. I know how it tastes when it's bad, or when it's burning too hot, or when it's not getting enough air. I know almost every flavor profile of this juice because I've used it so much. So that's like my control variable that I'm gonna have. There is your nicotine warning. It is a toxic product. It is also addictive. Please do not ingest it because you will get sick. That's the gist of that warning there. Alrighty, so I will see you back on top after I have built everything, because this may take a while. So I will see you in a minute. Okay, we're all built. We're all put together. We're all attached. I did have a little bit of a difficulty because I think the coil size for this particular RDA is a little bit small. Not resistance-wise or anything, but just how it's not really wide across here. So there's just a little bit of pull, but that's why coils are flexible. It is still giving me around the resistance that I need. So I have a 20 amp capacity battery. Well, I have 2 of them in here, but that doesn't really mean a whole lot. It's still 20. So I have my wattage set to 32, which means the voltage is set at 3.48 on my battery, and cutting the legs off gave me a 0.38. Now I've turned it off, turned it back on, turned it off, turned it back on several times, and it's still giving me that resistance number. So operating it at this wattage is still well within my battery limits. So do your own research to figure out what you need for your specific batteries, what you need to do that safely. I have done hours of this to try to figure this out before I even got this thing. So, what are my thoughts? Well, first of all, I was worried about RDA vaping because yes, it's always cheaper to do it yourself. DIY, cheaper, forever. In everything you do, doing it yourself is much cheaper. I was worried because I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to sit there, pop this thing off, oh, well, now it's stuck, oh, blah, blah, blah. Look at that. Well, you can't really see in there, but it's open. There's no obstruction in the top whatsoever. Oh, I need a little bit of a fill. Oh, look at that. Done. So with my other tank, even though, oh, I gotta screw this thing off, and then I gotta set this down, and then I gotta add that, oh, I gotta screw this back on, no, none of that. So, I like, oh, Lord, I just pulled the whole thing off. I didn't mean to do that. Okay. So I like a little bit of a tighter airflow. Again, this is a little bit on the low side because all of this is brand new stuff. All of this is new to me, so cross my fingers that I don't explode. Okay, fingers crossed. It tastes exactly how it always tasted, but it's a really kind of light juice anyway. It's a salt juice. I'm really excited to try my Jam Monster flavor that I got because that's specifically for RDA vaping. So I'm really curious because it didn't perform well in my regular tank. So I'm really curious to see what that does. And look, it's so pretty. It matches the body of my mod. Doesn't this just look like it belongs there? It just looks like it always should have been there to begin with. So, what are my thoughts? Okay, so, thoughts. There's my little configuration that I got. See what I mean about that kind of just not covering what I want it to cover? This is my very first RDA, so I really can't compare it to anything. But Mike was right about that O-ring being tight, because I'm sitting here trying to, and it's just, I put a little e-juice on it, and it's not really wanting to do its thing. So that's a downside, but it's not a downside to this RDA. It is just a downside to them in general, because that's going to be pretty much with everyone that you have. It's not this one specifically. So what are my thoughts? It's beautiful. The design is beautiful. It's my first ever RDA, my first ever build, my first ever anything. And by watching Mike's video on how to build it, it was pretty easy to figure out. I did it. I entered in my calculations on the app on my phone for my own readings and everything like that, and it is the exact same that my mod is saying, like to the 100th decimal point. Don't tell anybody, I forgot what that was. It is accurate to the 100th decimal point on all of those variables, so that tells me that the interior mechanics are correct. Not really a whole lot of marginal errors. The drop top fill thing, I could probably hold this thing upside down. Nothing will come out. Guess what? Can't do that with this. If you hold this upside down, guess what? You're gonna have stuff everywhere, because these things, if they tilt the wrong way, they leak. That's just how it is. That's how it goes. They always leak. Everywhere. All the time. This, I can make it leak. I can make stuff come out of the air holes. Why would you want to do that? That's just a mess, and nobody wants that. So, I could make it leak. I could. I don't want to. I have no desire to do that. And this is really cool because in RDAs in general, I like to switch flavors a lot. I can do that as much as I want with this. Kind of. I mean, I'll go through a lot of cotton, but this purple is so pretty. Well done to Mike. This is a really, I just like it. I like the way it looks. I like the airflow. I like how easy it is to adjust that, because I don't always want a restrictive airflow. I don't always want an open airflow. I'm so wishy-washy with what I prefer in vaping, and this allows me to basically cater to all of my awkward, indecisive needs. So, highly, highly, highly recommend it. Can't tell you where to find it or any of the cool stuff I had. However, I'd say the RDA is, or the Rebirth is the RDA to have. If you like to collect, or you like a lot of RDAs, this is the one to have. So, that is Honest Vaping, and that's my honest vaping opinion.